the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back. The landing party has returned. I've been away on vacation, and Anna had some stuff to do too. But here we are back with a two-parter, the first in the series. And it feels good to be here. Good to see everybody. And we're going to start off with, as usual, the captain's log. But not this one. This is a different captain's log. So we got Stardate 2407.17, The Menagerie, Parts 1 and 2. This is written by Gene Roddenberry with additional elements by John D.F. Black, and it's directed by Mark Daniels, who we have seen, who has directed a few other Star Treks up to this point. This is one of those follow-the-money stories, because on March 6, 1966, Desilu was given the green light for Star Trek by NBC. With an order for 16 episodes. That's all they got, 16 guaranteed. With this, Gene Roddenberry handed out the first 4 story assignments: Dagger of the Mind, The Corbomite Maneuver, The City on the Edge of Forever, and What Are Little Girls Made Of? What's amazing is just that 4 days after he got the news of this, that Roddenberry sent a memo to Herb Solow, from Desilu, suggesting that the cage be incorporated into a 2-part episode, melding the new cast with the older footage. This would save this is how we sold it, that this would save the studio money and would ensure the Star Trek would stay on its production schedule. Which is really odd. You know, they haven't even started yet, and he's already projecting that they're going to be behind. I don't know that he knew this, because, I mean, all those reasons are true, but he had no way of knowing that they would eventually fall behind, and they did. But the real reason for this proposal was that Roddenberry was really proud of the cage. They spent a lot of money on it. Nothing else looked like it on TV, and he wanted it to be seen. It's as simple as that. Stan Roberts at NBC loved the idea, but he had 2 caveats. One, it would be combined with a companion story featuring the current cast members. And 2, that the network would only pay for 1 of those episodes. NBC had, after all, contributed a good chunk of change to the original production of The Cage. Needless to say, Desilu was not happy. They would be forfeiting $100,000 in revenue from the network because they're not getting paid for the second episode. However, if they would produce the wraparound story for the budget of a single episode, the studio would save $92,000 in deficit financing by not having to make the 15th episode. So it actually turned out, not only did they save that money in because they had run up a deficit because of the expenses, they weren't really planning on those extra expenses, but they had a surplus from the savings here. So that was another $23,000 that could go back into episodes. So these 2 episodes actually kind of put them flush on their budget and gave them a little bit more to spread out as they went forward. But that got burned up pretty quick. But that's another story. One of the problems they ran into was that nobody thought about the contracts of the original actors and the director of The Cage. Could they even use this material legally? And thankfully, somebody did think of that, and they came to terms with the original cast and paid them for the use. Malachi Throne, who was the voice of the keeper in the cage, is here as Commodore Mendez. Throne was a busy actor in the 60s, appearing in The Outer Limits with Shatner. It's that Cold Hands, Warm Heart episode. Malachi Throne was in that with Shatner. Ben Casey, The Fugitive, and many, many others, including he's the guy who played Falseface on Batman, Batman 66. So there you have it. There's our captain's log for Stardate 2407.17. And let's bring in the landing crew. The landing party. First, we have Lieutenant Commander Aaron Lepresti.
Good to be back, Graham.
Isn't it?
2-week hiatus, and like a dummy, I watched the first part of this last night thinking we were going to do 2 episodes for this because it's, a 2-parter and
right,
1 episode a week. But then I was like, what an idiot. It's 1 episode spread out over 2. We're obviously going to cover it all tonight. And I only watched half of it, but I have seen it many times before, but
of course.
I'm
and
much
we had just
fresher
done
on
the cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm much fresher on the first part than the second part of this, but I still remember it fairly well. So I can contribute something tonight.
Excellent. Next up, we have Mr. Red Shirt himself, Mr. Ron Garney.
The return of Ron.
Ron has returned.
Hello, gentlemen.
Are we gentlemen or are we gentlemen? You ponder that.
You're both very affectionate men, so
very nice.
You look like you've been hunting or something. You look a little bit like Grizzly Adams there with the beard, the full beard.
It always looks like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Has it been that? Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's the it just looks a little, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a little longer, but it's always I've had a beard forever.
It just looks,
and let's bring in the prettiest member of the
hopefully doesn't have a beard. Doesn't have a beard.
Anna, that's
I shaved my beard.
Star Trek girl.
Star Trek girl.
Waxed it off.
I did, yeah.
So when you were on the couch with that kid,
not again.
Yeah. How was your camping trip?
It was good, but there was a bear. He stole my
saw a
husband's
bear?
M&Ms.
oh, what is that? A bear, really? What was that whole debate recently about?
Oh, well, they asked women if they would rather run into a bear.
But that's only for like ugly chicks and lesbians.
That was the universe giving you the choice, and you chose your husband.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I did want to pet the bear though. It was very cute, but
yeah,
probably not a great idea.
You'll never want to do that again after this video I saw. These poor bastards. Like, they had a dog, and they were. I forgot where they were. It was like Kazakhstan or somewhere, but they were in a tent, a big tent. It was military guys or something, and they had a dog, and the dog was barking at and seemingly playing with this small baby bear, right? This cub.
Oh no!
And it was over this embankment, so it just looked like the cub was by itself, and the dog kept running and barking, coming back, and then the cub disappeared back over, and then another cub appeared, right? So then people were like, oh shit. And right at that moment, you just see the mother bear's whole body come up over the embankment and starts going like this. And its hair is standing up on the back of its neck. And then within seconds, you just see the bear charge. And the camera goes out, and the bear tore apart everybody, including the dog. Killed them. Yeah.
Did they all get killed?
They all got killed, including the dog.
Wow.
Because the dog it looked like it was attacking the cubs.
Sure. Do you remember that Saturday Night Live?
Never want to pet a bear again.
Do you remember that Saturday Night Live bit that Dan Aykroyd did where he was a bear attack victim and he had his face all fucked up with makeup? And he says, this is my tip. Never feed a bear a marshmallow like this. He puts the marshmallow in his mouth.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Here, I took a video of the bear from our campsite if you want to see it.
Yeah,
You
let's
did?
see it.
Yeah, I do want to see this.
Share it.
I'm sharing it right now.
Oh.
Okay. So I was in like the camp like tent trailer, and I told my husband, I was like, either you do it or I'll do it, but we need to get my truck and we need to go like get the bear. So it got in our food. It dug through everything, and my husband had like a variety pack of a bunch of M&Ms. It took that and it was eating all of his M&Ms.
What vantage point were you at? So you were.
I'm like in the tent trailer and I just have my phone up against the netting. So there's the bear.
Cool.
There's my husband's M&Ms.
Holy shit.
It
That's
gets scared.
awesome.
It climbs up the tree. Look at how cute. Look, it's hugging a tree.
It's such a little Ewok.
It is. Look at. There's my camp. There's my painting.
Hey, remember what those
It made a big
Ewoks
old
did to
mess.
the stormtroopers?
So he was like flashing the lights and like honking at it, and the bear realizes nothing's gonna happen, and so this mofo goes back and takes his time to eat the rest of the M&Ms, and not only that, he opened every package individually.
Dude,
Well,
are those Rice Krispies down there? What is that down there on the
Yeah.
ground?
That's Pop-Tarts, and I have my tripod
Pop-Tart.
on it. I have my easel set up.
So you guys take M&Ms and Pop-Tarts to go camping. I mean, that's
We have kids. There's a lot of kids, so we bring
So
snacks.
if
for all
that
the
bear
kids.
ends up with diabetes, we'll know who to blame.
yeah, exactly.
Eh,
Jeez, Anna, my God.
I didn't bring the M&Ms. I don't like peanut M&Ms. That was him.
I mean, honestly, I don't blame the damn bear. I mean,
Sure.
you
Now,
know,
where are you videoing? Are you safely in the truck right now?
No, I'm
Video-
in the tent trailer. My husband is in the truck. I'm with the dogs who could not care less about this bear. They didn't bark. They didn't do anything. They just kept sleeping.
And how big
It
is
goes
that
back
bear?
to the M&Ms.
it looks pretty big.
It
Like
does
a-
look pretty big. It does looks bigger than a cub.
It's a big
like a gorilla-like body.
Yeah,
That's a brown bear too. That's not even a black bear.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
black
those are not as gentle as the black
Yes.
bears. You're lucky.
Yeah, you can scare
From
off.
what
a black
I'm
bear.
told, it is a brown bear in the cinnamon, or a black bear in the cinnamon phase.
Oh, is that right? So it's a
I've
young
only
bear?
ever seen black bears because we were in Tahoe, so there's a lot of black bears
Go
there.
ask it. Hey, are you in the cinnamon phase?
Well, this bear was here for like a good 40 minutes.
Bro, you just see Anna's legs like this. Wow.
So is this going to be? I mean, he eats all this sugar. Is going to be like cocaine bear here in a minute, or he's
I don't
just
know.
like,
Well, you know what's funny? He
Yeah.
doesn't even eat all the M&Ms. He goes through and picks out the ones that he likes. And then
really?
yeah, so
And
it was
he color codes them.
Yeah, he only ate the
caramel
green
ones.
ones.
He opened all the peanut butter and the peanut ones individually, ate all of those. You know how the mini M&Ms come in the tubes? He ate those whole. And then
wow.
he
It's
finished
probably because
eating-
their sense of smell is so incredible. You know, just like a
Oh,
dog,
yeah.
it's like 100 times more than ours. It probably smelled the peanuts inside and instinctively knows what's more nutritious.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Eat
my
the
theory.
peanuts.
Sticking
You know,
to it.
I like it. I like it. It works.
Yeah. Well, nobody else woke up. It only left when I finally just shouted bear. And then it like looked up and it started
Like, oh my
slowly
gosh, she's
walking
on
When
away.
they came towards you, you just yell that you're pregnant.
Oh yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
good. Let's let the
Snickers?
bear know
I
that.
got Snickers.
Stay away from my Pop-Tarts.
I was like, as long as it doesn't get my Nutella, we're good.
I was reading an article about hippopotamuses one time, and it cracked me up how ridiculous whoever wrote the article was. Because it said in the article that, you know, hippopotamuses are, you know, the most dangerous animal in you know, Africa, wherever.
Yeah.
But then it says they're known to attack people, even beauty queens.
What?
Literally said that, even beauty queens. I'm like, do you think the damn hippo knows the difference between a beauty queen and a regular person, you moron?
Look at all those.
Distinguish, like, oh, she's hot. Let me leave her alone.
Even those saltwater crocs know not to mess with those things. I saw this video of this hippo on the shore, and it was walking towards the water, and there's all these saltwater crocs sitting around it, and they see the hippo, and they're like,
Yeah, I know. They don't.
Yeah,
They're backing out of the way.
Well, there's another one where a baby it shows a big croc grabbing a baby hippo. Poor thing.
Oh, wow.
They look so cute. And then they say, oh, and then the hippo's got revenge on the croc, and it shows
Oh, them trampling
croc
it.
being tossed around inside the whole. What is a group of hippos called? Is there like a pod, or that's an orca? But
Hippopotami.
no, but yeah, a gaggle of hippos.
Yeah, gaggle. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
A gaggle of hippos.
A murder. A murder.
A gang of hippos. I don't know.
Is it called a murder? Yeah, probably.
It's a murder of crows.
But it shows them just tossing this thing all over, and biting it.
Wow.
Getting a little revenge.
Hey, Leg Kick One, thank you for that $5 super chat. Jim Shooter said, when you do storytellers, send him a link. He spoke highly of you and Ron. Oh, how nice.
Jim Shooter spoke highly.
Yeah.
of us.
He didn't say anything about me though, but that's okay.
Was there any mention of Aaron?
I say nice things about
Oh
you
my
everywhere
God.
I go.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. I likewise. I say
I
that,
love
Ron.
you.
I say Ron Garney.
Friends
There's
that
a
we met
man's
at
man.
MegaCon.
What's that?
I was sitting right across
Yeah,
from Shooter practically at the SummerCon in Washington.
I've hung out with Jim before.
Yeah, the funny thing is I came in to Marvel right around the tail end of Jim Shooter's career. Well, Jim Shooter's
Dreaded blue waffle strikes again.
Oh my God, Russell.
And until and former South African beauty queen was attacked by a hippo in 1991. Oh, well, there you
Did
go.
it mistake her for one of them?
Yeah, but the fact that he put it in the story as if it was somehow even beauty queens, like as if
there's no context. We don't know that.
Yeah, the hippo has not revealed to you that yes, I'll even attack a beauty queen.
Yeah. Well, since this is a Star Trek show and not National Geographic, why don't we talk about?
Come on, keep the ship on course here, Grant.
Did you see how I navigated that?
Yeah, it was very nice.
What do you say? What do you say? We discuss this episode. What did you guys think of it? First off, I mean, obviously we've gone through the cage as an individual episode, but now they've added this wraparound story, which is pretty ingenious when you think about what they had to do to make it all work.
Well, this is not one of my favorite episodes because the cage is not one of my favorite.
I agree.
Episodes. So, but I did like the the trial stuff. I was kind of, even as a kid, I was sitting there watching, going, "Oh, do I have to watch this again with Pike?" Because I thought it was interesting. Kirk's in a position where his best friend, if you will, at that point is on trial for treason. He cannot understand why he did this. And so there's those nice moments where he's trying to be captain and be in charge of the whole, the courtroom scene there. I want to say impeachment, but you know what I mean. And yet he's sympathetic towards Spock, and he's like, he must have had a reason for doing this kind of thing. And so I like that part of it, but it was having to sit through the cage again. It was like, oh,
yeah, I mean, I'm of two minds of that. I mean, I think, well, I liked it a lot because of the Spock connection, how it ties in the past to the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only link to that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so it makes it very believable. And it makes, and it shows his evolution as a character, and his devotion to his first captain.
Right.
Even though I think
11 years.
I mean, so I think there was the loyalty he showed, and then the way they showed him in the past. I thought it worked very effectively. Now they had to put it how many years earlier on purpose, because none of the props or any of the, or were even remotely similar. The costumes were remotely similar to how they upgraded it. So it made sense to, put it, what was it, like 10 years earlier or something?
Well, it had to have been over 11, because if he served with Pike for 11 years and he's been with Kirk for...
Wasn't it 13?
Yeah, but it was a 5-year mission.
Yeah.
So...
I see.
Well, so it had to be like maybe 12 years, right?
Was Pike's a 5-year mission?
Yeah,
never
it doesn't
said.
seem like that
Um,
because Kirk is the one saying it on the opening credits,
Yeah.
So I think that
Pike's was an
particular
11-year.
yeah, they would have said 11-year mission.
Yeah.
But I liked it for that reason. I thought that, the Spock being the connector to that, I thought it made a lot of sense. I think it was well handled. It showed his loyalty, and it's really rather moving to see Spock's what
What
a
he's willing
moral,
to
actual
sacrifice.
moral character he is
Yeah.
for his alien, being an alien and all that.
And for someone with no emotion, he's showing a lot of
Yes.
emotion of compassion here, because he wants to bring him back so that he is not trapped in this husk, this dead body, so that he could live out the rest of his life. I mean, that's a lot of compassion right there.
Well, they address that because when Kirk's like, Spock could never lie, he could never do this, and then Bones is like, he's half human,
Yeah,
Right.
but see
completely capable.
sorry to interrupt. That's the
How
cat.
dare you?
Yes. Shut
I'll
me
send the hippos after
Shut me
you.
off, Nolan.
Yeah, send a hippo on him.
I am a beauty queen after all.
Yeah, you're not immune.
Ugly mug. Yeah. So wasn't Spock? No, he was. It was an illusion to him that they contacted him, that they put into his brain originally, wasn't it? Like when they told him
To
about
get him to
Pike.
start this whole plan, you mean?
Yeah, it was actually the Telosians. Actually, it was an illusion they gave to Spock that they contacted him through the radio, but it wasn't real. Isn't that
Well,
right?
Did they ever really
No,
discuss that?
I think it was real to Spock. They
It
told
was
him.
real to Spock, but the Telosians were doing it to him
Yes,
Yeah.
they're the ones that told him that Pike had a place if they wanted to bring him.
through telepathy.
Right,
Right.
That's the assumption.
Right, because they never explain it completely.
Well, because they make him believe it was a signal they got through the like a communication, but it
Right.
wasn't. It was an illusion that he was getting a communication, and they were
Right.
just telepathically communicating. They wanted to help.
Right, but did they ever spell that out? I don't think they did. Because that was kind of an interesting thing because they were talking about Spock can't lie, right? So clearly he was lying, but so
no, that's the point.
right, that's what I mean. It
No,
makes
he
sense
doesn't
what you're
know.
saying.
I think they explain it at the end that he didn't know. He wasn't lying because he thought what he was telling was the truth, but it was actually a telepathic thing.
Well, I know that Mendez at the end was an illusion, right? I mean, up to the point where they got on the shuttlecraft, that was all an illusion of Mendez.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he was actually on the star base, but
Right.
he never got on the
Right.
shuttle with Kirk.
That's how they explain it away.
Right.
Yeah.
What else
Huh.
was that guy in? I used to see him in all kinds of stuff back then.
Yeah,
funny.
it's Malachi Throne. That's the guy I said in the
Right.
captain log was he played False Face. He
Right.
was in Cold Hands, Warm Heart.
Right.
Isn't it,
Yeah,
isn't it
all that.
funny how you recognize these guys' faces so readily, but then you say their name and you're like, his name is what?
Malachi.
What? You know, it's like you don't ever.
Not Malachi. It's not Malachi. It's Malachi.
Not Malachi.
Malachi. Yeah,
Malachi.
Malachi Throne.
But it looks like it would be spelled Malachi.
Yeah.
When I was a
But,
kid, I
but
used
anyway, I
to
mean, if someone asked me who that guy was, I go, yeah, he's been in this, and this. You go, what's his name? You're like, I have no freaking clue. Then you hear the name and you're like, I still don't know.
Yeah. There's when in the first part, in the part one where we're on the starbase and the woman goes out there. I guess she's a reception committee to meet Kirk and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a very odd scene to me. Because she's standing there and she's kind of looking in the sky like, where are they?
Yeah.
And then they beam down next to her
Yeah.
and then she says, oh, welcome, Captain Kirk. And then Kirk there's like this pregnant pause. It's just creepy. This
Yeah, I
interchange
wasn't sure.
Which scene is that? I wish we could pull that up.
Very
right in the
open,
beginning.
because I thought for a second, I'm like, is Kirk hitting on this chick, or is this
Right.
or is something wrong with this chick? I couldn't figure out. And then when she brought the files in, when he was sitting there with Mendez, and she gives him the report, she's like, "Oh, Helen, somebody mentioned your name." And he goes, "Helen mentioned my name." She goes, "Oh, just that she knew you." And he's like this relieved look, but then they're like
Yeah.
staring at each other like, is there going to be
Yeah.
some
Maybe there was
action
a
here?
plot that got like cut or something.
Yeah, it reminded me of Anna and this high school guy that she went out
Oh
with,
my God, no.
looking at each other, and
No.
you're like, something's going to
See what you've
happen.
done, Ron? You've corrupted Aaron now.
My plans are working. Yes.
But the weird part was like, then she says to Captain Kirk, well, why did you divert here to Starbase, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I received a message from here, but there's this pause before he answers her and he says, I received a message from here. And then she goes, we sent no message from here. And then she kind of turns and walks away. It's like, well, how do you know if the Starbase sent a message, it's just weird.
And he freezes up on it. Oh yeah, how would she know? Right. That yeah. And
It's
there is
just
that weird pause. I think Kirk was kind of sitting there like, he almost looked like, are you putting me on? It's like, why are you here, Captain?
Anna
But,
going to the bathroom or something? Anna, are you peeing?
well, she is pregnant, so
She's pregnant, yeah.
Got a baby sitting on her bladder right now. Yeah, that whole thing with that girl was very strange. And
it's like they were trying to set it up for something, but
yeah.
Lynn Green says from the original timeline, Enterprise had a 5-year shakedown under Robert April, 15 years under Pike, which is about 1 year in, and 5 under Kirk and 1.5 under Decker.
Yeah, we know how that ended.
Yeah.
All right, I got the scene pulled up.
Oh,
you do?
Here
we go.
Here we go.
That's what we need. We need to be able to see these moments.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm about to get demonetized.
I'm not going to play the scene. We're just going to show.
They're not going to know anything. Don't worry.
Yeah, there she is looking up at the sky. Maybe she's trying to see the ship.
I always remember thinking she had this weird dullard look on her face.
Yeah.
She did. Go a little bit. Go forward to the exchange between her and Kirk.
Yeah, there was something off about her.
You can play about 20 seconds of it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Captain, I've
Right,
always
it's like, why are you here? And he's like, yeah, look at her face.
I wanted to get in your pants again. Well, you can't do that, Captain.
Yeah, no.
Maybe she was like day drinking, like on her
That's what
day
she
off.
looks like she's day drinking.
Yeah, she's day drinking, and then the Commodore guy's like, "Oh, you're the hottest chick that works for me. Go greet Captain Kirk."
Yeah, you're the best we've got. Go out and.
You guys watch The Boys at all?
No.
Not anymore.
It's such a far left. I mean, it's gone completely over the edge. But there's the character called the Deep, and he has this affair going on with an octopus.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
But
it's that he can like talk to fish or anything that swims.
I don't know why that made me think of it.
So basically, he's Aquaman, but he's having relationships with fish and stuff. Great.
Oh, okay.
In the last episode, it talks about him eating the octopus out.
Oh, jeez.
It's so ridiculous.
Who
feels more sick right now, me or Anna?
Wow.
Oh
God. You do have a nice. You're starting to get that beautiful look, that glow. Sort of.
Because I finally stopped puking.
Oh, well, that's good.
Stopped what?
Yeah.
Puking.
I finally stopped puking.
Oh, I see. So your body's starting to absorb the nutrients.
It is. And I finally have the tiniest little bump. I'm like, this thing's supposed to be the size of a coconut. I'm like, where is it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing, like how much can fit inside my body without it showing.
Excited for you because, man, as Graham knows. Aaron, do you have kids?
Yeah, I have kids. I got a grandson now.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys know what it's like, how it changes you instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as that child comes, you're just like,
You're
It just-
freaking out. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Like, I have no time.
For
to
me,
be on
it
a
was like
wagon
it
party
brought me
anymore.
to my knees in humility. Just I was so, and I never, I was sort of a wild child,
You come
and
on.
yeah, and and I never realized I could feel something like that before.
Mm-hmm. It's
Well,
amazing.
I've dated girls and I've had relationships and stuff, but that was
Yeah.
something.
Well, when you feel the baby move is really wild.
Yeah,
And when you actually see the footprint,
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
that's really cool.
Oh, yay.
That's
Well,
funny to
That's going to be fun.
your baby may be sitting back farther. My daughter-in-law hardly showed at all,
Mhm.
and it was because the baby was back farther,
Oh,
and her lower back paid for it though. But
yeah.
so
So also the first baby, all those muscles are all tight and everything still. So it takes a little.
that's
it's
right.
A little bit harder for them to pop out. That second one, man, boop.
You have.
no. I was
have-
getting like intense cramps and I had to Google it and it said it's because since I've never had one, my ligaments aren't stretched. So all those cramps are my ligaments stretching. I'm like, ugh,
Wow.
hell.
So Anna, I've never met you actually in person, just seen pictures. Do you have what they call baby making hips?
I have 0 hips. 0. So
Oh, so
I'm
you're
looking forward to
narrow.
getting them. Yes,
Well, your pelvis will naturally widen as it goes on.
that is what I'm told. And then I won't fit in any of my jeans, but I will finally have hips.
There you go. That's right. It's a trade-off. Get that
Yeah.
hourglass figure you've been waiting for.
I hope that comes along with all of this.
Figure you've been waiting for.
Yeah. Hopefully it looks good because I'm really short. It'd be nice.
How tall are you?
Short.
She won't tell. She's
Well,
short.
say your age or
tiny.
I have met both of them. They can confirm I am short.
She's tiny.
really?
Well, you're a giant, so everything is tiny to you.
Oh,
I thought you looked. I don't know. I don't know what I thought really. Looking at you over this, I thought you were just sort of medium height.
No.
you would think that, but no.
Clever
How big
camera.
is your husband?
He's 5'7", but
Oh,
he's
so he's short too.
well, he's taller than me.
But he's jacked.
5'7".
Don't mess with him.
He's still not really technically tall.
And is 4'9". When I graduated high school, I was 4'8". I didn't grow until college.
Oh, wow.
Well, if you're revealing that, we can pretty much guesstimate that how tall you are.
My wife's only 4'11".
Oh my gosh, she's little.
Yeah.
My wife's only 3 feet tall.
But you got a nice place to rest your beer.
Yeah.
Aw.
Among other things.
Oh my god. Star Trek.
Yeah.
So Commodore Mendez, when he
He's got a great voice, that guy.
he does. I love that guy. He's a great character actor.
Somebody in the chat said, I think he voiced Green Lantern in the cartoon. Let
Really?
me see if I can find that.
Yeah, he was a lot more prolific, as I recall. I remember seeing him all over the place.
Oh, it was Paul Taylor. He said Malachi Throne also played one of the Guardians in Green Lantern First Flight animated movie.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
got
you could. That's a
that
great
good,
voice.
deep voice.
Yeah.
So one thing that I always thought was kind of interesting about this episode is how adamant Pike is about not going to Talos 4.
Yeah.
He clearly must be able to imagine what they could do to help him. But they didn't exactly leave on good terms either, did they, when they left?
Well, he was trying to wring the dude's neck, and
Yeah.
Well, he had a phaser to his head and everything else. And
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't understand. They just looked at them as zoo animals. So he probably was worried that they were all going to be captured there, and just didn't trust them. That's why it was off limits.
yeah.
To go there.
Well, that's a good point, because they didn't end. Like I said, they didn't. Although they revealed Susan Oliver, what she really looked like, right? And then kind of showed that they were compassionate and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't know. But if I was stuck in that chair and looked like that, I'd go, I don't care.
It was almost like they were taught compassion. They had to learn
Right.
it hard way, because they're like, that's what Pike said. He said, how's it feel to be on the other end of it?
Yeah.
Right.
Phaser you're about to get your head blown off. I mean, they never had to deal with that before because, they were
kind of like those
really powerful.
Kind of like those brains, right? On the Gamesters of Trickscallion. They had to learn compassion, man.
Right.
I don't think they ever learned it.
No, they didn't. They just lost
those three little bitches.
They just lost
400 quattros.
Uh,
Pike didn't want the crew of the Enterprise to get the death sentence for visiting.
I would just love to take one of those fucking Triskelion dudes, their brains, and just let them know they're about to be splattered against the wall. Just hold them up against the wall. They're like, no, we'll give you 100 quatlus.
Yeah.
Please don't.
What's the over-under on this one?
And then you put them in one of those Jello brand gelatin molds and feed it to Telosian.
To the Gorn.
Oh. Yeah, that's what the Gorn. Oh, what a great episode! The Gorn. We find out that's what they eat are those Triskelion brains.
those they're like
they're a delicacy.
Yeah.
Klingons like their food alive, so I wonder if they would eat them too.
Yeah. Well,
Dearest
little alien head cheese.
They don't want Spock to sacrifice his career and life for him, while also possibly endangering anyone else with the Telosians. That makes sense.
Yeah, I've been put in my place on this matter. I shouldn't even have brought it up. I was thinking very selfishly. If I was Pike, I'd take me there now.
Anyway, I think the episode does a great job.
I think that they could have, obviously they do understand at the end and make an exception considering his condition. Like, can I go live in my fantasy world with the hot chick as compared to just, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's kind of like the Matrix,
Right.
Yeah.
When in the Matrix shows, I forgot the character's name, played by Joe Pantaleone.
The bad guy.
Yeah, and he's sitting there and he's like, if ignorance is bliss, I choose ignorance because he's eating a steak and everything. He's like, which would you rather do? Sit there as a husk or, live in a fantasy land where you're,
Right.
So.
Yeah, the alternative choice in the Matrix
but it's not
was
even
not
a good
great.
fantasy because you still have to pay taxes. You still have to do all these other things. It's like you still get old and die.
Talos 4, though, not the Matrix.
Oh, well there.
See, they just get to screw all day long and,
True.
They could do whatever they want. They could just say, hey, we want this fantasy or that fantasy. They can get whatever.
Well, maybe Pike is like Stephen Hawking, and he likes to watch,
midgets,
dwarves, midgets get up on the blackboard and try to solve difficult equations.
Yeah. You gotta think though, it would definitely get old fast. I mean, are they going to raise children? What's the end game of that? Because they're going to die eventually. So they just get to live the rest of their lives not being husks. So I guess from their point of view, it's.
Well, she could have already died because she was already older, and she had the illusion of youth. Yeah, because at first they said she was a baby when they crashed, and then it's like no, she was a full-grown woman. Add 18 years on top of that, and however long it's been since.
When did they say she was a full-grown woman?
When number 1 gets there, and she said we looked at the records.
Yep.
There is Vina listed, but she was an adult.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, because I do remember them saying she was a child. But
that's what the illusions of the old men said.
Okay.
Which was basically, the Telosian.
Right. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Good catch there, Star Wars girl.
Yeah, so she's probably already on death's door, and I don't know after his injuries how long he's going to live. So technically,
I like how they used a different actor because they couldn't afford Jeffrey Hunter anymore.
Well, Jeffrey Hunter was in Spain making a movie.
I think in part was because they couldn't afford him. His wife was instrumental in telling them that,
pretty much why he got off the show. She was a pain in the ass.
And they chose a guy who just looked so nothing really. I mean, I guess I could sort of see it, but the fact that he had the blonde hair, or was it supposed to be gray, or
Yeah, they
Looked
chose
like he had a
that.
wig.
They chose that guy because of his eyes. He had those kind of
Blue
really
eyes.
blue eyes like Jeffrey Hunter. Although they put heavy lidded them too with all that.
See that?
makeup.
You know what? That leads me to that question. So at the very end of the episode, are we doing both parts or no? Just this
Yes.
part?
Yeah. We're kind of talking about both of them here.
All right.
Did nobody check the group
At
chat?
the
I
very
asked.
end, it shows them look off into the camera. Pike and Vina, like they're looking at Kirk and Spock and all them in that moment.
Oh yes,
So they had to film that before there was even an idea for this episode. So why did they film that?
That's a good question. That ending
Probably
where they
as,
went
like,
hand
an
in hand.
Did Hunter come in just for that moment and film it?
No, he did not.
So
No,
how
wasn't
did they
that
have-
reused?
What?
That was reused from the
Yeah.
beginning when she first takes him in, except they just changed out the background to where the cave was no longer full. It was all damaged. Because that happens earlier, and he's not looking back. He's looking at the camera, but he's looking back at his crew before he
Oh,
falls.
true. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
and he's happy. He's because he's talking to her, and he's.
She's going to reveal the secret.
Right. Yeah, they just repurposed it.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
recall that moment.
Hey, now,
Long
okay,
time.
I got a question here because I didn't, like I said, I only watched the first part of this like a dummy. I didn't watch the second one last night, so I can't remember
Save yourself.
how did they get away from the death penalty? Menendez disappears, right?
He contacts them and says that he gave them approval this one time to go to Talos 4 and that they are wiped, their slates are wiped clean of this crime.
Yeah.
Mendez did that,
Yes.
but what
Yeah,
motivated
the real one back on the
but
planet.
what would motivate him to do that?
Wait,
The Telosians probably.
They saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
The Telosians broadcast everything that was happening back to the starbase so they could
Okay.
see what was
so
happening.
Melendez was actually a real guy, but they were just using an illusion of him.
In the
On the
shuttlecraft
ship.
and on the Enterprise, yeah.
So that
When they're
way
on the
Kirk
starbase,
wouldn't
he was
come
there.
on. Yeah.
Wait. On the ship, he wasn't there, or on the starbase?
Okay, he was on the starbase. He was only a projection on the ship because if he wasn't there, Kirk would figure it out and have
Right.
destroyed the mission before. So he was a distraction there for Kirk, but in real life, he
I
was
gotta
on the
I gotta
starbase.
rewatch these things, man. It's been so long.
Somebody doesn't do their homework before the
No,
Yeah, Ron.
I don't.
He's
I got
proud
my
of it.
husband.
I feel like I've watched them so many times years ago. I'm like, I can still remember so much anyway.
I was watching it last night, and my husband comes in and he sees it, and he hates this episode.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You watched this episode 100 times. Why are you watching it again?" I was like, "So I can get up to date on everything. So I'm going to talk about it for an hour tomorrow."
I like doing it my way because I get to have it all refreshed by you geniuses.
Us super geeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, Cecil sent me a video earlier. I want to play it for you guys when we're done with this topic.
Okay.
It's Star Trek related, so you guys will enjoy it.
Okay.
Let me ask a question here of Ron and Anna. Are either of you guys going to San Diego this year?
Yeah, I am.
I'll be there.
I'm actually leaving Wednesday morning.
I'm leaving Tuesday night.
Huh?
I had my press passes removed for streaming with John and Shane.
What?
Oh wow.
I know. At first I was like, I might not even go because I didn't know how sick I was going to be. And now I'm just like, well, it's a 2-hour drive for me. I don't have my press passes anymore. So I was like, I'll go next year, probably.
Dang, I might have an extra.
Wait, streaming with who?
John and Shane, they are the ones that got kicked out of C2E2.
Why'd they get kicked out?
Oh, we're not going down that road. You don't even
Because
know.
the people are retarded. That's why.
Anna, I think I
Because
have
why?
an extra exhibitor badge. If you let me know if you decide you want to come. I'll double check, but I'm almost positive I have an extra exhibitor badge.
Okay.
I
thank
can't
you.
get peaches. I can only got one. So
I
I
know.
couldn't get peaches in. So
Well,
Wait,
I'm
is it
going
this
out.
weekend or next weekend?
Boom is flying me out. So,
Oh yeah.
and I'm actually, I don't have a table set up or anything. Aaron, do you have a table set up there?
I got a booth, 4706,
Dude,
baby.
I should sit with you, man.
You can come
Wait
by
a
anytime. You can come by
Well,
anytime you
how
want.
about I share some of the expense with you, and I'll just
Wait
park.
a second. I saw a big ad about, because I follow Keanu, about your booth there, and it's advertising that you and him are going to be there. Is that a lie?
Well, we are going to be there.
You and him?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And you don't have a booth? It's advertised. It's set
Not,
on.
not that kind of booth. It's not going to be. It's no. We're appearing at the Boom booth. Well, I don't know if he's going to be. We're going to be in Hall H, and then somewhere else, I think. But overall, though, apart from those times, I don't have my own table set up where I'm going to be doing sketches and things. A side of me kind of doesn't want to have one. I just go and enjoy myself.
They're not going to have a spot for you at like the Boom booth? That one was pretty big last
No,
time.
well, they've got all kinds of things going on there, but they've tried to set me up with some comic shop down the street, which I'm not going to do, and then another booth at some other comic shop that has Berserker special edition stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered me to sit there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have to make a decision, but it would be nice if I could just sit and make a little cash or something, but it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Are you going, Graham?
No. I hate those big shows.
And you go?
Yeah, I don't like them either, dude. But I gotta promote the book. So
yeah, sure. All right, guys, let's get a rating here on these. Aaron,
man, an hour.
I'm rushing it because I have to at 9 o'clock. I'm launching my closeout party for.
That's right. You're busy,
for
man.
Joe Frankenstein 3 is closing out tonight. So
well, congratulations.
Thanks. We're knocking on 100K door, so I think we can do it. We're getting close.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hate to be a dick, but I'm going to say a 6 on this. It's just not one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm. Ron?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5, 8 because I think it really was something that the series overall needed to explain. I thought it was a good retcon for it. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Nothing like that's ever been done before, which is really
cool. It was very interesting, and it made it more believable as a show in general because decades pass and fashions change and technology improves and
hairstyle, like Spock's hairstyle, it made everything real,
and those weird psychedelic plants what he was smiling at.
Oh yeah. His emotions changed.
But even that showed his discipline change.
Right. He was more human.
You could explain away that he was young and sort of still not in total control of his logic.
And he finally got his eyebrows done.
Yeah. Got that Asian girl to do
threading.
How about you, Anna?
I'd say the first episode I would get like a 7.5 to, and then the second episode a 5. It can be redeemed a little bit with the ending, but I think because the second episode is just so much of the cage, it's kind of like.
I love when Anna gives her ratings. She always has this guilty smile on her face.
I know I'm about to be judged.
I know. She knows she's trying to stir the soup a little bit.
Well, no, I think I'm just kind of a harder critic. But the first one, the entire buildup and like the tension, like what is Spock? Because we all know that Spock's the one that's messing with everything in line, and nobody else does. So it's interesting to see that. And then it's like the second episode's just the replay of the last with a couple new scenes in it. So I thought it was cool that they did that.
Well, you can't give the first one a 7.5 and give the second one a 5 because it's all one story.
No, it's not. This first episode is really good.
It's
really good. It's really intriguing. Well, it's like when you go and watch a movie and the first half of the movie is good and the second half the plot falls off.
Right, it's still the same story.
Yeah.
Well, the first episode is good, and the second episode is not so good.
But
So
it's
that's
the
my
same
rating.
story, so you have to take it as a whole.
Okay, so the beginning of
Well,
Lord of the
what's
Rings
your for
starts
the
off
whole
slow, and
story?
it
What
gets
is your rating for
the
the whole
whole
story?
entire story. I would probably have to just go for an even 6.
See,
Okay.
she's on, but we agree on this one.
Yes, but if you just judge the first episode on everything, all of the elements in it, it's a really good episode. The second episode, where it's just pretty much the cage, it's not that great.
But there's no resolution in the first episode. If you don't have a
It
resolution,
leaves you wanting more, though.
that's the point. That proves that it's all one story.
Okay. Well, Empire Strikes Back leaves you wanting more and is not a complete story because they got to go save Han
Still one
Solo and defeat.
story.
Well, Empire Strikes Back is objectively better than Return of the Jedi, right? But the story ends with Return of the Jedi.
Depends. It depends. Well, I don't see it that way. I see it as one story.
Okay, all of them are one story. Empire
I
Strikes
know
Back
you
is
like the
fun.
one episode more than the other. I get it, but you're being asked to judge the Menagerie 1 and 2 as a story.
I told you when
Okay,
you
so
combine
yours
it,
is a
it's
6, and that's
I'm a 6. I'm giving it a 6 as well.
6.
in hotness.
Wow.
Yeah, but no-
come on, you're too hard on yourself, Graham.
No
Give me a
hippo's going to get
solid
me. No hippo's going to get
6.1.
me.
Stay out of
Well,
the
next
water,
week,
Peter.
next week we have a fun one. We have Shore Leave.
Oh.
Oh,
Finnegan.
that one.
Yeah,
Finnegan.
we get to talk about Finnegan and
Didn't we talk about him already at one point?
We're always talking about every episode at one point.
All right. Now that we've all done a rating, I can show this to you. So it's pretty funny. But A-list
right.
celebrities versus original Star Trek characters. Let's see how many of these the dad can guess.
Who's that? I don't know. Very pretty, but I don't know. I can't get it.
It's Beyonce.
Oh, that's Beyonce? What's his name? Garovic, Ensign Garovic from the episode Obsession. Yes.
Yeah, you look like him too.
Oh, that's a quarterback. Isn't it?
Which quarterback? Which teams he play for?
It's probably not a quarterback.
It's Chris Pratt.
That's
Yeah, wasn't he in Moneyball? To Bring, played by Arlene Martell.
How do you know that?
She was also in 2 Twilight Zone episodes.
This is totally us.
this is
Pretty lady, but I don't
That's
know who this
Ariana
pretty
Grande.
lady
I do
is.
know that.
Singer Ariana Grande.
Oh, wow, I've never even heard of her. Miramani. Sabrina Sharp is the actress's name, playing Miramani.
Drake.
Like an athlete, too. Damn.
What sport?
Well, I guess I want to say football, but I'm getting a feeling I'm wrong.
That's Drake, the rapper.
Drake, the rapper. All right, I've never heard of him. Sorry, Drake.
How do you think you did?
I aced it.
That's awesome.
That is so
so
good.
I thought you guys would enjoy that.
Oh,
That's so funny. It's like looking in a mirror.
yeah. Oh, there's Ensign Garovic from Obsession.
I even knew the character's name.
In fairness, though, I did not know a few of them, so I didn't know the first one. But
I knew all the Star Trek ones, but I didn't know any of the other. I knew Drake.
I knew Drake.
Drake. I knew
And
Ariana.
Chris Pratt, I knew.
Chris
I didn't see his picture. I couldn't see his picture.
Mm.
But
I couldn't.
all right, guys,
tried
I got to
to-
roll. I got to get that other show set up. So everybody in the chat, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Landing Party. To The Landing Party, thank you guys. It's great to be back. Next week, again, we will be doing Shore Leave. And until then, we will see you.
Good night,
Good night.
Captain John.
Oh, and come over to the stream for the closeout of Joe Frankenstein. We'll see you there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.